Today I'm going to teach you one of the secret sauces behind smooth and professional-looking animations, and that is overlapping keyframes. Let me demonstrate. If you're new to After Effects, chances are you animate like this. You place one keyframe for the starting position, then you move forward on the timeline and place another keyframe for the ending position. And here's the thing. When you want the object to move again, you simply move further up the timeline and place another keyframe for the third position. And at the end, your animation ends up looking something like this. Super amateur. And no offense, but the movement just feels cheap and robotic. And if you want to be a professional editor, trust me, you're going to need this technique. So, for a better demonstration, let's name these position points point A, point B, and point C. So what we have right now is one object moving from point A to point B, and only when that movement is completely finished does it start moving from point B to point C. And the problem is that when the object reaches that middle point, there's a tiny pause that completely kills the smoothness of the animation. Even though that pause might only last a few frames. Our eyes can feel it, and that's exactly what makes an animation feel stiff and unprofessional. Now, it's time to do it the professional way. So back to the tutorial. For the first movement, we're going to do exactly the same thing. We'll create one keyframe for point A, move forward on the timeline, and then move the object to point B to create our second keyframe. Now here's where the magic happens. Instead of creating the next movement directly on the object itself, we're going to create a null layer and parent the object to that null layer. Now that we've done that, whatever the null layer does, the object will do as well. And that means we can start creating the second movement using the null layer instead of the object itself. So what we're going to do is go back on the timeline a little bit, not after the first movement ends, but before it ends. Somewhere around the middle of those two original keyframes is a good place to start. There, we'll create the first keyframe for the null layer. Then we'll move further forward on the timeline and move the null layer to point C. And of course, because our object is parented to that null layer, the object moves with it. And this is the entire secret with this method. There's no pause on point B anymore because the second movement starts even before the first movement is finished. That way, when the object reached point B, it's already moving toward point C. Now let's put both animations side by side, and you'll immediately be able to feel the difference. Everything flows together instead of happening one movement at a time. And the best part is you can repeat this process again and again and again using additional null layers to create more and more overlapping movements. Thanks for watching.